We are live. What is going on, guys, boys, and girls? What's going on out there today? Hope you're having a great day so far, wherever you are. I got 7:30 a.m. here in the West Coast, Southern California, the desert, Rancho Mirage, Mission Hills Country Club. Got a little grass court stuff teed up this morning around 9:15. It is a chilly morning out here right now. It's 47, but clear, no wind. Don't want to jinx the wind thing. I don't mind. Don't really mind, the temperature. It can be 50-ish. That's fine. 40, high 40s. But the wind. But anyway, no wind this morning, which is good. And look, this time of year, it's pretty rare when we get some kind of a blustery day. That's coming into February, into March for a little bit. Anyway, let's get off the weatherman stuff. Guys, another episode of the January 2021 Reboot, the body, the physicality reboot. And whether it's because of COVID, you've been sitting on the sidelines too much in 2020, or maybe the holidays kind of are still lingering. The effects of the holidays are still lingering. And you really want to do something. Well, look, we started this on January 1st. Today is the 23rd. And really, I'm going to share with you quick little part of my screen here. Here we go. And here's what we've been doing, right? January 1st, I said, what is one thing that you could eliminate for the next 31 days? And, I started with alcohol, and I guess I started because that's what my wife, Mai, and I have given up for January. We're doing a dry January. We're not heavy drinkers, but a beer at night, a glass of wine at night, and so why not? Why not do the classic dry January? So that's what we're doing. Other folks are giving up sugar. Some people are, because of all the talk about plant-based eating, right? A lot of people are dropping meat, maybe chicken, pork, something like that. Dairy, could be milk, could be cheese. Boy, when I dropped dairy, which was 3 years ago, just about 3 years ago, and I was having some digestive issues with red meat. And so we dropped meat and we dropped dairy. And I'm telling you, the one big time craving I had were that thing from Costco, that big block of Swiss cheese that we would get once in a while and kind of carve it up into little chunks and, come around 4 or 5 o'clock. Oh man, the little Swiss cheese, the little salami, the little cocktail, whew, I was in heaven. Anyway, but for me, that was the one kind of craving that took me about a week to get over was the cheese. Lots of folks are giving up caffeine. Processed foods, we ought to drop that anyway. If you're slamming down a bunch of processed foods, that ought to be gone anyway. Wheat is an inflammatory. The hybridized wheat that we've now got, that the agricultural companies put in everything over the last 75 years, according to the book Wheat Belly, spikes your insulin higher and faster than sugar. No bueno. Bread, give it up for a month, right? Just see what happens. Second helpings. And then I think I added this a couple of days ago, which is the toxicity of social media. Little ironic I'm saying that because this is getting streamed to Facebook, obviously social media, as well as YouTube at the same time. YouTube I consider more as a search engine, less of social media, but still we can get sucked into social media in such a way that, and look, if you have not seen, I should say, this documentary, which was produced last year in 2020, The Social Dilemma, I would just recommend watching it and just take away whatever you do. But for us, it was pretty darn compelling. It's kind of scary. So look, I've been building these notes every day. And if you want a copy of them when we're done on the 31st of January, and in fact, let me back up for 1 second here, just to make sure that when you give up one thing for 31 days, and look, maybe you're just starting today, maybe you just found out about the reboot, the January 2021 reboot, and you're going to start today and go for 31 days. Awesome. That's great. But the one thing to remember is that when you drop something, don't be thinking that this is going to be for the rest of your life. Just think about, you know what, I'm just going to do it for a month. And look, we can do pretty much anything for a month. And if that's our goal, then do it for a month. And when that month is over, reevaluate. So if you started with me on January 1st, on February 1st, reevaluate. And my hunch is that by dropping that one thing that, you know, we know is maybe not great for you, you're going to go, you know what, I feel better. And I don't want to go back to what I felt like on January 1st. And I like this new habit that I've built, and I'm going to stick with it. And again, just say to yourself, let's go for another month. Let's go for a second month. And that's kind of how we did it back in February, March of 2018, when we went primarily plant-based. We dropped all meat and chicken and pork and dairy. And look, I just sort of took it month by month. And after a while, I just said, I like the way I feel. I like the fact that I haven't changed anything other than what I'm eating. I've already dropped about 8 or 9, 10 pounds of just pure gunk that I didn't need. And I like that feeling. I didn't want to go back. So there you go. Let's look at, and again, if you want to get a copy of this when we're done, come February 1st, just let me know and I'll be happy to send you a copy of this PDF of all the notes that we've made every day. So today's topic is balance. And what I mean by balance is what we were told as kids, right? Posture. Sit up straight, stand up straight. And we've already gone through something about sitting, about, you know, hours upon hours that we sit down, and just the health negativity I'm going to get to balance. I'll tell you in just a second. MRC. So look, balance and posture are crucial, I think, to good health. And I certainly know it in terms of my tennis. I mean, when I worked with Tom Stowe back in the day, the first thing he would do, and I got to be with him for 18 months with 3 other guys in a group. Those 3 guys were all top 5 in Northern California, the men's open. I was maybe 282. So I was definitely cannon fodder for those 3 guys. I loved it. I didn't care. But the one thing, and here were 3 of the top 5 guys in NorCal, the one thing Mr. Stowe had all of us do, all 4 of us do, for about the first 15 or 20 minutes of every 3-hour session we had with him on Wednesday mornings, was we would rehearse forehands, backhands. We would rehearse approach shots, forehand, backhand approach. We would rehearse volleys. And we didn't hit a tennis ball. There was the rehearsal was all about balance and posture. And Mr. Stowe's, I think, to any student you talk about, or that you might talk with, whoever had a chance to work with Mr. Stowe, what would be the one takeaway? It's probably that, balance/posture. If you don't have that, then it's pretty tough to play the game where you can be a consistent shot maker. And I think we all would agree, if you're a tennis player, if you're inconsistent as a shot maker, you got problems. You got problems. Even if you can ding the big winner from time to time, it's not going to get you the W. You know, maybe it's your level wherever you're at right now. That's fine. It does okay. But if you want to become a better player, then you got to focus on balance and posture. So what are some things that we can do? One thing you can do is you can set a reminder in your phone to maybe once an hour, and just don't put a time limit on it in terms of when this reminder is going to end. You know, maybe every hour, just have a reminder that says, whatever you're doing, check your posture, check your balance to make sure that you're not slouching. I would say maybe 10 years ago, I got out of, and this was affecting my lower back. I was having some back issues, but it was primarily because I'd gotten a little forward with my chest, right? I really didn't have the great posture. And I think some of that was because I was spending so many hours in front of my computer working on my business at Web Tennis, banging out videos, editing videos, doing all that stuff that I'd gotten in kind of a habit of some bad posture. And said, "What's going on, man? You look like you're all hunched over." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." And so I started checking, and sure enough, I made sure that between points, which, if you're a tennis player and you've heard me on my web tennis stuff, 80% of the match that we play is spent either between points or on side changes. The actual playing of the points is about 20% of the match, and that's it. So part of my between points routine is step number 2. I got a 4-part between points routine, but step number 2 is 2 or 3 deep breaths from my abs. And when I do that, I'm also checking my posture. And I want to make sure that I got good posture so that all the good benefits of having good posture and balance. So that would be one thing. Start checking yourself on a regular basis throughout the day. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be sitting, right? Well, make sure that you've got great posture when you're sitting. It could be that you need to stand up from sitting and walk around and stick your chest out and kind of push your head back a little bit and get that back aligned where it's straight and feel good posture, right? It's weird because the mornings now when I get up, the first thing I do is slug down a whole bunch of water after not having any water for the past 7 hours. So the first thing I do is I slam down a bunch of water. But the next thing I do is we have a little part of our home here in the desert where we got an espresso machine, coffee machine. And I go make my lovely wife her little latte, right? And it's weird because I sit there as I'm making it, and now it's a habit as I check my posture. Rather than leaning over and frothing the milk and doing all that stuff, I make sure that I am, to start the day, that I've got good posture. It's now a habit. The second thing that you can do is stand on one leg, right? And if you have to hold on to something so that you have some kind of balance, we'll start by doing that. Stand on one leg, feel that you've got good posture, and then let go and see how long you can stand on one leg, right? When you first start doing this, probably can't do it for more than a couple seconds, right? Or maybe one leg you've got better balance on than the other one, right? Start building a habit of doing this, of just standing on a leg and feeling it, and then find other ways, other exercises that you can do that will help you with good posture. One thing I also do, which I recommended recently, was I bought one of these chin-up bars that you put between a door, and I've got it at such a height where I don't do chin-ups, but I hang from it and allow my lower back especially to try to decompress. And so that really helps in terms of just getting the back, every day. And I'm doing it maybe 2 times a day, sometimes 3 times a day, where I'm hanging for about 45 seconds. I know Djokovic, Novak can hang for like an hour. It's crazy. I mean, my shoulders would just blow apart if I did that. And look, I'll tell you, if you do get one of these one of these chin-up bars, at least for me, for the first couple of weeks, I thought my shoulders were just going to explode. And yet I knew that what was happening was this hanging was starting to loosen up my shoulders. And I think my serve over the last 30 days has gotten a little bit more pop, gotten a little bit more swing speed, because it's sort of loosened up my shoulders for me. So guys, that's it for today. Real short, simple message. Check your posture, check your balance. If you're out there on the tennis court, start building that habit between points where you kind of make sure that you're not hunched over. And especially if you just miss an easy ball, what do we typically do? We kind of get negative. Don't get negative, get positive. Show some positive body language by going ahead and standing tall, walking tall, having good posture, doing what your mother told you way back in the day. Come on, kid, stand up straight. So, all right, guys, that's it for me today. Any questions, you can just direct message me over at Facebook, or you can shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. And MRZ, thank you so much for checking in today from YouTube. Appreciate that. Guys, as always, it's time. Get out there today. Help someone else have a spectacular day. January 2021 Reboot Day 24 tomorrow. I will see you then.